Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead. Close your eyes. Fan reactions live. I do have to warn everybody, there's going to be some major fanboy going on tonight. I'm just going to start out. I'll let you guys rate the episode however you want to rate it. This is by far, my favorite episode of Fear the Walking Dead, bar none. So many things to really dig down and to dissect in this. I was messaging some of the moderators during this. This had just a tremendous effect on me. I thought the acting was fantastic. I thought the black and white scenes, the color was great. I thought the filming was incredible. The dialogue, just really good stuff here. The psychology of someone when they're down and how Alicia was pushing. This episode hit home. I thought the writers just did an incredible job. If my words influence a few of you, I'm going to try to back that up because I do have some validation. I've got several pages of notes that we talked about a little bit earlier when the episode first, we were doing the countdown and how the close your eyes is sort of the opposite of starting from the top and losing everything. Here's two people that have lost everything and they're forced to rely on each other. They're forced to build that relationship and start over. Multiple times where Alicia was just struggling with the demons. She wanted to kill her. I thought the scene where Alicia just pulled the gun and put it to Charlie, you could see the tears going down her eyes. She was done. Multiple times, at least 3 times, if you didn't know the spoilers, you thought that it was over and Alicia just couldn't contain herself. And then she's buried it. She's buried the past. And the two of them are going to form, I think, a really strong bond. I thought the writers did an incredible job of dialing it back. I'm definitely going to open up. I want to see some of your comments that we'll go through. I see a few people have already started evaluating the episode right now. I'm going to ask everybody right now your reaction. If you had to pick one thing with the episode, what was the biggest thing that kind of had left a lasting impression on you from this episode? Yeah, drama. I don't know if they knew the extent of how much the basement was going to flood. I mean, that's a lot of water that's out there. I mean, we could certainly kind of pick that apart, but I love the irony. I love how the dead walker actually saved them. I know some people, it's not their cup of tea. They're going to say it's too convenient, it's too coincidental. We're watching a show that is fake, and when we make it real. So when these things happen out of the blue, I really dig them. I kind of like it. So Mitch said Alicia's restraint. A girl in Chihuahua said the basement scene. Lark Song said the episode was well done, great flow. Fluff, Alicia wanted to carry on Maddie's legacy. So if you're just joining in, I've asked the group at this point, if there was one thing that you could pick out that was the most influence. I got to say, of all the things, and I know it happened toward the end, so it's a little bit more fresh in my mind, the beach scene, Alicia explaining what the beach was like, and when she was articulating that, I could visualize it. I didn't watch the scene with my eyes closed. I could probably go back, but every description of what she was going through and in making that real for Charlie, where Charlie could not even, if you remember, she couldn't even remember what her parents looked like. And she was saving all these pictures. And Alicia was able to sort of articulate that, and then Charlie was able to create that mental image. Really incredible. I got goosebumps when that was happening. I just got to tell you guys, I was really into this episode more so than anyone at this point. I'll go through and we do the scene by scene recap. There's several things that I pointed out early on. One of the things that Alicia was doing, she kept looking at her reflection. You could see she was just looking, at her face to see if she's changed, what she was about, her expressions. That's important, and I think a lot of times when you watch these, you take for granted like every little emotion and every little thing. Like even if, for example, if I don't know if you watched the replay of last week, you could see where June and Al were talking on the bridge, and you could see the wind blow some of the leaves. So when you go back and you do a deep dive in these and are taking notes and kind of watching, not just for entertainment, you're watching to discuss it, you pick up on a lot of different nuances from the show. Kel says some amazing acting skills. The only of all the stuff that happened, the only minor thing that I would have picked apart that I thought was a little out of character is when Charlie and Alicia were in the basement, and Charlie, that was a little bit of a fail to me, where she says, "What are we going to do?" That part, I had to sort of table that and put it to the side, because I thought that was kind of, it could have been done a little better. I would have cut that and made them retake that scene several times just to get that where it was the right vibe, because you had this real serious vibe going, and all of a sudden that was a little bit of overacting in my mind. But other than that, I thought, I guess the reason I liked it is because I usually don't like these. I didn't like the Morgan episode, the filler episode. I didn't like the one with John, but I absolutely loved this one. So let me jump over to the super chat real quick. This is Tammy Heitzman. I wonder if when the shows merge, Alicia will decide to go and she can bring Charlie to the beach. It's a bold prediction. You know what? I would not be surprised if this becomes a callback at some point, where as they do start to travel and maybe they go east and they go through, what is east? Is Houston east? Well, I guess it is Galveston, right? Where you get toward the Louisiana. I'm not real familiar with Texas. Sorry, some of you are from Texas. But yeah, as you get to that area, maybe as they, along their travel, I think you're right, Tammy. I could definitely see them stopping by the beach and having a scene there to sort of make that a little bit more real to Charlie. Julie, I agree with that. The 90-minute more, that was not one of my favorite. I endured a lot of that. Dawn of the Frank says 10 plus horror aspect. Oh, I love that too. See, you guys are just going to mention things, and I'm going to remember what I liked about it. But yes, the silhouettes and the black and white, and once again, if you didn't know the spoilers, and she goes over and opens the door, this did feel. I know a lot of times they want it to feel like a Western, but tonight it felt like The Ring or some horror type of movie. I really got that kind of zombie walker vibe again. And the conversation was dark. I'm going to get back to that 1 second, because if you did not really dial in on Alicia's words, to me that was how bitter and how resentful her words were, and how caring and how soft her words were at the end. We saw a complete transformation from the beginning to the end. Let me jump over to Jimmy's Jammin'. Jimmy's Jammin' says, second best episode of the season so far for me, Kill. So Jimmy rates it really high as well. So I'm going to ask Jimmy, I'm going to make that a super chat spotlight in a little bit, because I want to know how everybody feels. But when this happened, I was messaging the moderators, and I said, it's absolutely amazing, the psychology. Alicia was so resentful and so cold, she pushed Charlie to the brink of suicide. Charlie had the gun anyway, and she needed to hear those cold words from Alicia to make her do it, and Alicia gave her all the ammunition, literally and figuratively, that she needed to break her. She absolutely destroyed her and said, I don't want to kill you, but I know I probably will. And she talked about all the things she did, and she said, that makes you garbage. So the lowest of low. Imagine the psychological impact if any of you were talking to a child or your kid, and you looked them in the eyes and said, you are garbage. She just ripped her soul out. I mean, that can be worse than actual death. Her words were, the way the writers and the producers did this might have been some of the coldest dialogue I've seen in The Walking Dead. Maybe when Dwight was on his knees and he was begging, and Daryl said, get out of here, and I don't ever want to see you again, I'm going to kill you. That was pretty severe. But to look this kid in the eye and to say what she was saying just had to feel like, for Charlie, had to feel like somebody was just stabbing you with a knife over and over and over again. So when that happened, I messaged him. I said, the psychology in this episode was absolutely tremendous. Hippo, you may have, but I'm going to tell you, to a psychology major, this was like the best for me. Absolutely enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Talking Dead. A lot of stuff that we talk about tonight, if you guys get a chance to go back and compare notes, I love to hear the producers talk about some of the things that we're covering right now. Randy Walden says, contrast to Carol's look at the pretty flowers moment. But was it not... Alicia actually felt some guilt. And I think the turning point when you knew Alicia was sort of beyond it was when Charlie was asleep on the couch and Alicia woke up and she's looking for her. Like, she's generally concerned, like, what happened? You know, this is a kid. And, you know, after that garbage line, Charlie's out there trying to feed herself to a walker. And you could see the emotion back and forth with Charlie as well, because she even said, you know, shoot me. I don't want to be like them. At first, I don't want to die. But if I'm going to die, end it. You know, don't let me come back the way I had to watch my parents come back. And I'm not, I don't know if I'm ready to see the lasting impact from the viewers at this point. Because a lot of times, you know, we ask, you know, what percentage are ready to sort of move on and accept Charlie. And if I ask the question right now, some people are going to hang on to their old concepts. So we might need to wait a day or a week or a couple more episodes to really let the writers add the second layer. Tonight was the cake. Next, we're going to get the icing. But let me also remind everybody, Charlie saved Alicia. So when Alicia got knocked unconscious by the car door, Alicia can kill a lot of walkers, but she can't battle a car door. But Charlie found a way to drag her back into the house and saved her life. She could have left her out there. Doesn't quite undo all the things because Alicia was not ready to forgive at that point. She still had to get through some things. But this was an episode of healing for two people. And I think both characters are going to be super, super strong in the future. I really like what they did tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. You guys have heard, you know, my 10 minutes of fanboy, of absolute adoration for this episode. So I'm going to ask you right now, from a 1 to a 10, give me your score. And we'll do a complete recap. We'll dissect it tomorrow night. Because usually once people watch Talking Dead and they get a little bit more validation of what they were trying to do, the scores go up a little bit higher. Tim Lamore, 12. Sergeant Chosen 1, 10. Bit Nova, 10. A Girl in a Chihuahua, 10. Samantha, 9.9. Candy, a 10. Emmy, 15. Of course, it's a 15, Emmy. I know you. Bumblebee Brown, a 10. Kel, almost a perfect score. Tammy, 10 plus. Steph, 8.9. Kelly Golan Zenier, 10 plus. Lark Song, 9. Cammy, an 8. Julie, a little on the lower end, a 6. Donna the Frank, 10 plus. Fald, 9. Daddy Corleone, 9.5. So a lot of really, really high scores. And we got a few people coming in with 7s and 8s. But I think a lot of the people that scored it high really focused in on that dialogue. And, you know, and that's the entertainment value. Not everybody's going to be into that. And I will say that I'm usually not. When I feel like it's a filler episode, like tonight seemed like it was going to be, I check out early. But I was dug into this one pretty well. A couple more bullet points that I want to bring up here. Alicia using Madison's words to Charlie and saying, I know you think no one's gone till they're gone, but sometimes they're just gone. And starting to give it up a little bit. And Charlie was the one trying to pay final respects to the people that were dead. So Alicia sort of accepting some of Charlie's point of view almost feels like now Charlie's not a kid anymore. So before this episode, we gave her a pass to a certain degree. Some people did and said, look, you've been through some rough times. You were defending your group, but you're still a child. I don't think Charlie is a child any longer. I think of all the emotional things that happened today, she graduated into young adult. And it's going to be scary, but it's also going to be very interesting to see if she gets that toughness. I really thought at the end that Charlie was going to go up and stab the walker, but Alicia did still take it away from her and kind of finish him. The other thing that I thought is how in the first few seasons, Alicia, she pulled out a small knife and she struggled with killing anything, but Alicia, with that muffler tool that she has, she's just so casual with it now. It's just like, I will say, and I'm going to throw this out there for the group, and let me know if you agree or disagree. Of all the people in the Walking Dead universe, Shane, Rick, Daryl, Carol, Ezekiel, Madison, Travis, Nick, Alicia tonight might be the most chill killer of walkers I think I've ever seen. Let me know if you agree or disagree, but how she can just pull out the tool and the dad walks right into it. She is just super, super casual. So if the writers sort of gave her that power, I think it's awesome. And I'm looking forward to sort of developing that as it goes. Now, there's some other things that we can probably pick apart, but if Alicia is straight and focused, she just went up there on my scale of favorites. And if you didn't catch that, go back and watch just how casual she was, which is whatever. And then when she grabbed that trophy or that monument, so the mom comes in and she stabs one, it gets stuck in the wall, and then I guess the daughter comes up and she just picks up the trophy, and it's like we were talking about how Daryl pulled out 2 knives and is going across the bridge and how cool that was with Daryl doing that. Alicia kind of did the same thing, except she didn't use 2 knives. She used a muffler and a trophy. That might be the best dual kill I've seen in a long time. So Samantha says she's right there with Carol, kind of the same way. I'll give you that, Ripley. I think Morgan has a coolness as well. Morgan's up there, no doubt about it. I love it. Epic says, I hope they don't expect me to root for her in the future just because she feels bad. Call me cold, but I wanted her to get eaten. I think she's become a staple of the show now. This was level 1 in the transformation. Now it's just going to layer on. I'm going to go through a couple notes here. I had a lot of things starred, like amazing, good point, awesome. Yeah, I was also looking at all the irony in the beginning. You know what's funny is how Alicia killed the whole family, lines them up, and figures she's paying respect or ending it by taking the picture down and putting the picture out there with them. And Charlie was trying to pay respect in a totally different way. So Alicia was trying to do the right thing, and she admittedly said that. She's like, well, when last episode, what would my mom have done? How would I have done this? So even though she's trying to be like her mom, she's struggling with it. And that little bit of forgiveness, that little bit of getting over the hurdle with Charlie, I think is allowing her to let the past be the past. It'll be interesting to see if Alicia keeps referring, or if they bring that back. I hope they don't bring that theme back again. Now that both of them have went to a different mental state in my mind, I hope they don't play on it anymore. If they do, it's going to be a little corny. Would you guys agree with that? Like, let them have their moment, give them credit, be excited about it. But now if I got to hear Alicia go back and talk about Madison, or if I got to hear Charlie bring up her parents again, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to keep, like, rehashing it. Let's just, you got it. You got it out in the open now. Alicia did say at the end, it's not going to get any better than this. So she is trying to prepare her for Alicia's big sister. And, I do have to ask it because, Epic and I have been going back and forth. Did you guys see a little bit of Lee and Clementine in this episode? Did you see a little bit of... Remember how Lee took Clementine under his wing, even though Lee had done those things and he was locked up and he was on his way to prison? Did you not see a little bit of the parallel there? I saw it. I absolutely saw it. And I'm telling you, it is a conscious effort. And when it happens, you guys will remember that we said it first here. Charlie, we've been begging for it. And maybe, let me say this in all seriousness, because some people will disagree. We have been begging for a long time for a Kenny and for a Clementine and for a Lee on any of the Walking Dead franchises. So it might not be packaged the way we want it to be, but who knows? It might turn into something. She does. She's got to get the hat with the C on it. Absolutely. I did. So Jimmy says, but didn't Alicia also say we don't have to stick around for how bad? Yeah, absolutely. So they're a team now. I agree. So Bumblebee says the rest of the group will be very surprised over Charlie and Alicia. But keep in mind that Lucy was getting a little sentimental as well, too. Lucy actually ran out looking for Charlie. I mean, Lucy said last week, haven't you done enough? And then when she saw the book, she realized that I got to get over this. So I don't think that's going to be a hard sell. And John and June had already planned a life with Charlie. So it wasn't hard for this transition. John knows what happened. John, was trying to play Scrabble, trying to get her to come out of her shell, and she hasn't said a word. So when Charlie actually speaks, it's a big deal when Alicia's walking away. And I think her first words, why did you save me? I think. Maria, if you've never heard of Lee and Clementine, I've got some... I actually played the Telltale Walking Dead game a couple of years after it came out. I actually played it about a year and a half ago. And I knew nothing about the game when I played it. So everything that I was going through in the game was just kind of complete shock. And it was sort of entertainment because I would play some of it live as well. And people already knew the outcome. So I really got into the story and the characters. But if you're not familiar with that, you know what I might do somewhere in this video? I might actually link one of the old videos so you guys can see it, just so you have an understanding of who Clementine is. And as a sidebar, well, I guess it's not a complete spoiler, but I will tell you guys, whatever, I'll spoil it. When Lee supposedly dies, I caught a lot of flack from the gaming community because I was not broken down in tears from a video game. It was a very emotional scene, but I was kind of casual. I was like, oh, okay. But they expected a little bit more of a reaction. Gamers are hardcore, man. They hold you to the letter of the law. Anyway, just a little bit of extra tidbit of information for you guys. Let me see if I got a couple more notes here. We will do a deep dive into this episode tomorrow. I don't want to get back into the dialogue between Alicia, because there was just a lot of tough things she threw out there. Talking about her family, talking about Nick, and we will give a full recap of that tomorrow. Randy, that is a great comment. Where Charlie, and multiple times they said this, where she said she's good at finding things. It kind of scared me a little bit. I was like, man, Charlie must have some kind of superpower. What is she so good at finding? But I do think that'll come into play. It's almost like she's got a sixth sense. Julie says she's a tracker like Daryl. She's a resource. Good stuff. Yeah, that's a good point, Kel. She might be good at tracking people down. So maybe she'll be the one to sort of help find Lucy and Strand and the rest of the gang. And I'm very interested to see how they're going to bring everybody back together. Because the one knock I had on the show in previous seasons is how everybody got split up and they found each other so conveniently. If they stay pretty much in the same vicinity, I'm okay with it. If they start driving to other cities, then I may have to deduct from my score a little bit. So Sergeant Chosen One says, when will the group reunite? I'm going to say, I think at the end of next week. But it might be 4, because it looks like next week's going to be awesome. I mean, Morgan is going to meet some brand new people, and I've been looking forward to the what are we calling him? The guy, I can't call him the wheelchair guy because I called a lot of flack for that. The Hell on Wheels that we're calling the guy. He's got some creative stuff, so I'm very much looking forward to him. And I love the scene with Morgan where he says, "Can you lower that?" and he aims it down a little bit lower. So that's going to be a fun episode. I don't like the whole Prime thing where people can watch the minutes and everything, but I guess spoilers will be out. And we got a couple more minutes. We're going to wind this down in 2 or 3 more minutes. You know what? I said I wouldn't, but I will. All right. How many people are, at this point, everybody in the stream, and you guys do me a favor. We got 150, 200 people here. Everybody, Charlie NATO, that like button over there, make sure you guys hit that. Show a little bit of love to the 999 Army. And I'm going to ask, how many people are over the bad Charlie vibe? I'm not going to necessarily say you're Team Charlie. You don't have to be like that far, but how many people are ready to move on and give her a pass and say, yes, we want to see her story. We're not going to hold a long-term grudge. So I'm estimating it's going to go to 90%. I know some are going to be hard-headed and just say, I said no before, I'm just going to continue to say no. It's fine. But we work on integrity here. I want your complete, open, and honest answer. And if you flip-flopped on it, it's fine. We're not going to hold it against you because you flip-flopped. Shows can do that. Writers can do that. Bitnova says, I've been swayed in her favor. So we got a few people that are jumping over to the other side. Epic's all caps. Never, man. Epic, she's already saved Alicia. She's already started doing the right thing. And Drama King is Charlicia. Carrie Major says heading there. All right, and the last question before we do shout-outs. All right, we agreed on 50-50. So based on tonight's episode, and based on those of you that had a change of heart, what percentage do you think overall of our viewers, if it was 50-50 early, and Epic, you can chime in on this as well, even though you're going to be part of that negative side. What percentage do you think have moved on? 80-20, 90-10? I'd probably go 80-20. I think this episode had at about a 30% variable. 75-25. It's fine. Hippo, you can still be in that 25 percentile, but what percentage overall do you think? You can still give an assessment of the overall group. Tammy says 85-15. And I would say there's no way the 60% are still anti. There's not even 60% of the people watching the stream that are anti. It's probably on the higher end. And Anna, the other thing, tonight after you watch Talking Dead, I will guarantee you it'll move the needle even more toward Charlie. Hey, Epic, where were you at before? Were you 40-60 and now 60-40? Look, we're just the initial reaction. Tonight, Chris Hardwick's going to talk about it. Producers are going to talk about it. And they're going to butter it up even more. They're going to recruit more people. One thing that you can almost guarantee, though, and do this tonight, if you guys are going to be up for a little bit, watch the show and compare the things that we talk about here to the things that they talk about. Because last week it was almost like watching a repeat of your comments. So I think you guys are truly the pulse of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. A lot of what we discuss is held true. So I want to say thank you. Appreciate everybody being here. It has been a great Sunday. We started at noon. We did a nice what-if scenario, a good countdown. I'm super excited about this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow night. We'll do a little bit of a recap. We'll let some of the stuff sink in. Some people can compare notes. We'll see what other people out there are saying about it. And then, of course, Tuesday, we're going to have another What If. We're going to have some good Walking Dead topics. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. Once again, if you're interested in supporting the channel, there's a link down below to become patrons. We also got members. You want to rock some 999 gear, we got that as well. And last but definitely not least, I want you guys to give me a quick 999 because I want to give as many shout-outs to all of you in the 999 Army that make up this channel. Amazing debate, amazing dialogue. We can always disagree, but we have some of the most... some of the opinions are just expressed with the utmost respect, and it's good debate, good dialogue. So thanks to everybody for being here. Make sure you slap the like button on the way out the door. If you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits. You're still here. I just want to say thank you to Logan, to Bitnova, Dawn of the Frank, Davina Tenoya, Randy Walton, Maria Favada, Daddy Corleone, Hippo in the House, Carol Leathers, Julie McGuire, Fluff Salisbury, Tammy Heitzman, Walani, Phoenix Rising, Lanny R., my moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, absolutely amazing. They do a wonderful job with everything that we do. Kelly Golan's in here, Epic 999 Army, Tammy Boyle, Melinda Kettler, Legend 83, Viola McGowan, Lieutenant Ripley, Mitch True, Tim Lamora, thanks for being here, Donnie Blair, DDA Ohio, eBeach 72. Julie McGuire, thank you for being here. Who else we got? I missed a few shout-outs. It's moving quick. Samantha Coombs, thanks. Newfield 12. Bumblebee Brown. Shout out to Little Tommy. Michelle M., thank you. One of my super sponsors. Appreciate you. Jimmy's Jammin'. Always a pleasure, my man. Candy's Aid, thank you. Sam B. Sergeant Chosen One. Charlicia, the like button. Has a nice ring to it. Just remember, you can't say Alicia without saying Lee. Think about that. BK Harp, thanks for being here. Casey LeBoom. I will check it out. Oh, really quick gaming announcement if you guys are still here for the shout-outs. We have filled the 999 Army on the Walking Dead Our World augmented reality game. We're ranked number 3 in the world as far as progression. We also have just filled up the 999 Casual group. We set up a third group named after our channel, 999 Gaming. It is open for anyone who's playing the game, so all you have to do is search 999 Gaming. Free invitations. They only have 4 or 5 people there, so the next 20 people are guaranteed to get a spot. Jump in there and fill that up, and we'll have 3 complete groups of hardcore gamers. And if we fill all that up, then we'll start a 4th one and a 5th one and a 6th one. So enjoying the game. There's been a couple bugs with it, but we're going to ride it out. I know a lot of people love it. So I'll give you guys some gaming updates on that as well before too long. I love it. You never know, Epic. I mean, Charlie could have the cure. Julia Drums, thanks for being here. Tommy the Little Enforcer McCandless. There you go. Drama King, New York City. Thank you so much. Appreciate your comments and your contribution as well. All right, if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I know I missed a ton of people, but you guys are all absolutely awesome. I will try to do better tomorrow night. Be here at 9:30. We're going to go a little bit more in detail. Hopefully you guys could see the excitement. I'm like super fan after tonight, so really love what they're doing with Fear the Walking Dead. It's moving in the right direction. I mean, you have to admit that even some of the low scores tonight were 7 and 8, which is a far cry from where they were a couple seasons ago. Enjoy Talking Dead. I will see you all tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.